Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, Soy Capitan. Oh Captain, My Captain is a 5.5% Black India Pale Lager from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. You ever buy a t-shirt from somewhere and you get it and you buy it and you don't really get a chance to look at it real good and you get it home and it's just a disaster? That's what this shirt is. I feel like the Brooklyn Brawler. It's all sliced up. It's a long story. Anyways, you didn't think I was really going to miss a release in the Walt Whitman series, did you? Now, I'm a little late on this one. I know that, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm hoping good things come to those who wait. Now, Oh Captain, My Captain was released in mid to late September, somewhere around there. This one's one that I've really been looking forward to, trying, especially, all the Leaves of Grass series, the Walt Whitman thing that Bell's has done so far. I've really liked the two that I've had so far. This is number 3, Oh Captain, My Captain. And I've been getting pretty excited about lagers lately, and black IPAs are always a weakness for me. Even when I wasn't really drinking IPAs, I always was really curious about black IPAs. So I'm really curious to see exactly what a Black India Pale Lager is and how that one's going to work out. Now I'm going to cut the suspense, take a look at the label, get into a glass like I usually do, but I'm going to give you a fun fact, and that fun fact is India Pale Lagers differ from IPAs in the fact that IPAs are fermented with ale strains at 68 to 72 degrees roughly, where IPLs, India Pale Lagers, are fermented with lager yeasts at lower temperatures, usually between 50 and 55. You can use the same malt grain bill for both. Really, it just comes down to the yeast and how that the different yeast put in different flavors and where they're fermented. So that's what the difference is between IPAs and IPLs. So let's take a look at the label. It's really very reminiscent of all the other Leaves of Grass series. This is number 3. It says Bell's in Comstock, Michigan on the top, like they all say. And then on the front, really simple, kind of a parchmenty white on a gray background, has the number 3. Oh Captain, My Captain. It's the Leaves of Grass series. Black India style pale lager, brewed and bottled by Bell's Brewery Incorporated in Comstock, Michigan. And then on the back, it says the third of 7 beers celebrating a literary classic and one of our favorites, Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Brewed with Michigan-grown hops, this black IPL may look like a stout, but doesn't drink like one. Floral, fruity, and citrus notes are matched with the clean, crisp finish of a lager. Has all the return information, shelf life 3 months, alcohol 5.5% by volume, but you already knew that because I said it earlier. And this was packaged on September 9th, 2019. So again, I'm about 2 months late. This is November 2nd. I'm recording this. So I apologize. My apologies, but hopefully you'll forgive me and you'll stick around. If you've tried this, you'll already know what you think, but stick around to see what I think. So let's go ahead and crack this. This one has a number 3, as you can see from the overhead. The bottle cap has a number 3, which, number 2 had 2, and number 1, which was the IPA, the floral IPA, the German style IPA, had a number 1. So we're going to go ahead and crack this. Nothing on the inside of the cap though. Set that to the side and get a nose out of the bottle here. Has a really kind of piney, yet lagery kind of smell. Hard to describe. Sleeves are going crazy on the shirt. Let's go ahead and pour this. Coming very dark out of the bottle. Not as dark as I would expect, but pretty dark. Maybe a little bit lighter than a porter. Porter kind of color there. And that has a kind of just a little bit off-white head, like a khaki colored head. Not coffee colored, not super dark, but not white, not stark white. As you can see from the overhead, very tiny bubbles, really compact. And let's go ahead and hold this one up. It's really kind of got a brownish dark color to it. I see a little bit of a reddish hue through the light in the bottom here, but it has like a brownish, not so much black, more of a brown kind of look to it. Maybe like a really super dark copper. Not really what I would think of as a lager. Well, maybe a little bit of a dark lager, but not black. It wasn't not as dark as I was expecting it to be. Let's go ahead and put it. That head's really still sticking on. Let's get a nose out of the glass here, though. It's got this. Maybe that pininess is kind of more of a citrus kind of aroma, but it's got this this just crispy kind of lager aroma to it. If you've smelled a lager, you know what I'm talking about. And almost like a green kind of smell, like a, I don't know how to explain it other than say it's green. It has this kind of really fresh smell to it. When I think of a green beer, I think of it not being fermented long enough, and it almost has an aroma like that. I'm ready to just jump in and kill the mystery, though. So cheers. Really woodsy, has a really woodsy upfront flavor to it. Not much real bitterness until it kind of settles in. On the back end, there's a bit of a bitterness to it, but it's not a strong bitterness. I'm drinking this very cold, and that could have something to do with it. And as I talk and I haven't taken another sip, I get a real distinct kind of smoky, kind of floral flavor on the sides of my tongue, like in the back of my mouth. Very light, very crisp. On the thin side, the mouthfeels on the thin side is very crisp. You know, I'm looking at the back here, and it says floral, which I am getting this floral, woodsy kind of flavor out of it. But it says fruity, and I'm not picking up on any kind of fruit flavor in there. It's there's like a caramel maltiness in the background as well. I'm trying to think if I am getting like a citrus note to it, but it's on the tail end, it's on the finish, but it's not really bitter. Not something I would expect, or, you know, if I was thinking, if this was an IPA, I would expect to get a little bit more of that bitterness. I am getting a little bit of a bitterness in this, but not really like super punchy in the mouth bitterness. It's not really super in the forefront. It's there, but it's more kind of hanging out in the background, kind of chilling out back there. It's just really interesting. Very different. Not what I was expecting. Not what I thought it would be at all. It's just really different. It's not bad. I wouldn't say this is bad, but it's not something, now that I know what it is, it's not something that I would go and seek out again. I think it's kind of like a one-off. It's good, kind of different flavor, a little bit different style than what Bell's generally puts out. And I know this whole Leaves of Grass thing is these kind of experimental beers that are kind of like supposed to reflect the text, which I've never read any of, but just really different. It has these little pieces of it that are really reminiscent of lagers, but on the other hand, it has this other thing in there that's just totally kind of foreign to me. It's not a flavor that I can say that I've really experienced a lot of. So, like I said, I get a little bit of a citrus kind of bitterness on the tail end. It's really woodsy, has a floral kind of flavor around the back and the sides of my mouth, and it's like the long game. It's really after the finish, after everything kind of settles in there. That's when I pick up on that kind of floralness, but it's not really anywhere else pronounced throughout the beer. Upon the first swallow, I guess that's where more of this kind of bitter note comes through. Again, not a bad beer, but probably not something I'd look for again. It's got a really good one and done just to kind of see what they're doing. The other two Leaves of Grass beers so far, the Goza, which was the second one, which I thought was pretty good, but wasn't really my favorite Goza. I would drink that over and over. And the German IPA, the first one, number one, Song of Myself, is one that I would reach for. It's a really nice, refreshing change of pace for an IPA. This one, on the other hand, is just, it's good to try something, get you outside of your comfort zone. There's a smokiness in there that's kind of different. Maybe that's where I'm getting kind of those, it's kind of relating to a lager in my mind, but this isn't a beer that I would reach for again. If it's something that you want to try and get a little bit more out there and a little bit different, maybe it's something you'd want to, if you could still pick up a single, maybe you'd want to pick up a single and then go back for the rest of the 5 of the 6 that are left. But for me personally, this isn't one that I would seek out again. All right, friends, that has been Oh Captain, My Captain, the third in the Walt Whitman series from Bell's. Now, have you had a chance to try this? Where would you put it in that whole Leaves of Grass series that they've put out so far? There's another one that'll probably be every 2 months coming out until sometime in 2020. Again, if you've had it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell because I'm here talking about beer. Now, it's mostly Michigan beer, but all types of beer. Twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. And I'd be really sad if you missed your newest favorite because you didn't watch the videos, you weren't subscribed, you weren't getting notifications. Now, if you have any other questions you don't want to leave me in the comments, you can leave those questions on the Draft Therapy hotline at 224-DRAFT-20. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.